Before we begin our fourth match for today to determine the winner of the 4A championship, we'd like to honor our third and fourth place finalists. This year's third place finalist is Arkadelphia, and the fourth place finalist is Arkansas Baptist. Now we're ready to introduce the teams for our 4A conference championship match between Subiaco Academy and Gravette. First, from Subiaco Academy, we have Jacob Maestri, a sophomore. Their captain is Jamison Hall, a senior. Eli Heckel, a junior. Matt Tran, a senior. Their alternates are Sam Chisholm, a junior. Eric Ledoux, a junior. Daniel Heinrichs, a junior. Patrick Giuliani, a sophomore. John Tran, a sophomore. Their coach is Larry Purault, and their assistant coach is Sarah Purault. Let's hear it for Subiaco Academy. And now to Gravette High School. First, we have Brian Smithers, a junior. Their captain is Carson Alsop, a junior. Carson King, a sophomore. Russell Sharp, a senior. Their alternates are Lacey Newell, a junior. Quincy Curtis, a senior. Trey Hicks, a junior. Mandy Varner, a junior. Colton Holland, a junior. And their coaches are Megan Bassing and Allison Schaefer. Let's hear it for Gravette. Those are the 4A finalists, and I wish both teams the best of luck. Now let's play the game.
Welcome now to our 4A state championship, which promises to be just as exciting as our other three we've already had. Great job this morning so far. And now we're going to play the final two teams after a long, hard-fought year. These two teams survived to play for this 4A state championship, Subiaco Academy and Gravette. Good luck to both teams. We're going to begin today with a math computational question. So put your pencils in your hand. We'll put 20 seconds on the clock, and here's the question. A plus B equals 100. A and B are prime numbers. What is the largest possible difference between A and B? Carson K.
94.
Carson, you're absolutely right. 97 and 3, right? All right, very good. All right, our next question for both teams. This phrase was popularized in 1908 as the title of a play. It was long used to describe the natural assimilation of all ethnic groups in America. What is this Brian?
Melting pot.
Brian, you're right. Question number 3. The average depth of the ocean at the outer edge of the continental shelf is 100 fathoms. How many feet deep is this? Subiaco, Jamison.
600 feet.
Very good, Jamison. Question number 4. Name the talkative character in Shakespeare's Hamlet who made the ironic statement, brevity is the soul of wit. Brian.
Laertes.
No. Jamison.
Polonius.
Jamison, again, right. Question number 5. What 3-letter Latin word is used in footnotes to mean thus? Brian.
Sick.
Yes. Question number 6. What food did God send the Israelites? Carson.
Manna.
No. In such great abundance that they ate themselves sick. Jacob.
Bread.
No, the answer is quail. Quail. Question number 7. Although most of their territory was located in Asia, each of these two countries spanned 3 continents when they fought each other in 7 wars during the 18th and 19th century. Identify either one. Jacob.
Ottoman Empire.
Jacob, you got one of them. The other, the Russian Empire. Good job. Math computation for our next question. So another 20 seconds on the clock. And here's the math for you. Express an angle of pi over 15 radians in degrees. All right, Gravette, Brian.
6 degrees.
No. All right, Subiaco, Matt.
16 degrees.
No, I have 12 degrees. 12 degrees. All right. Our next toss-up is number 9. He once said, "What we need in Washington is a president who, instead of covering up, cleans up." Who was this 1952 vice presidential candidate? Carson.
Nixon.
You're right. All right. Kind of ironic statement from him as well, isn't it? Question number 10. Applicable to forces that act over a very short period of time, such as a bat hitting a baseball, what term refers to the product of a force and the amount of time during Subiaco, Jacob?
Impulse.
Right. Question number 11. This Mexican resort city became popular after the movie Jameson.
Cancun.
No, after the movie The Night of the Iguana was filmed there in 1963. Brian.
Tijuana.
No, it's Puerto Vallarta. Okay, question 12. Act 1 of this play introduces juror number 8. Carson.
12 Angry Men.
You're right. It is an honorary association of film industry personnel, including actors, producers, directors, cinematographers, writers, and editors. What is the full name of the organization that was formed in 1927 and is best known for handing out the Oscars? Jameson.
The Academy
More specific.
of Film.
No. Russell.
Film Academy.
No, it's the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. All right, question 14. The name of this thin, sheer fabric preceded condor and albatross in the names of pedal-driven planes. What is the word I'm looking for? Eli.
Gossamer.
Right. Question number 15. Some ions with this geometry include chlorate and sulfite. The molecular geometry of ammonia is designated by this two-word term. All right, Subiaco, Jacob.
Tetrahedral pyramid.
No. What? Brian.
Trigonal-planar.
I'm sorry?
Trigonal-planar.
No. It's the trigonal pyramid or pyramidal. All right, the question 16. When the Ark of the Covenant was placed in the tabernacle, name one of the 3 things that was placed inside. Jacob.
The 10 Commandments.
You're right. Do you know the other 2?
No.
That's all right. You only had to know one. The other was Aaron's rod and a gold pot full of manna. All right, question 17. He claims to own the world's largest bison ranch, 2 million acres strong, which is the most of any American. Jameson.
Warren Buffett.
No. He donated $1 billion to the UN in 1997 to fund programs such as UNICEF, saying, "A billion's a good round number." Name this philanthropist, media mogul, and founder of CNN.
Oh my
God. Carson K.
Smith.
No,
Ted Turner.
it's Ted Turner. Ted Turner. Better known as being certain Fonda's wife, or husband, I mean. Question 18. What state's counties are Windham, Toland, Litchfield, Middlesex, Fairfield, New London, Brian?
Virginia.
No. New Haven and Hartford. Jameson.
Connecticut.
Yes. If it is 5 p.m. at the prime meridian, what time is it at the international dateline? Russell.
5 a.m.
Russell, you're right. Good job, Russell. Question number 20. I have read your dispatch about fatigued horses. Will you pardon me for asking what the horses of your army have done since the Battle of Antietam that fatigues anything? Who sent this message to George McClellan? Carson.
Abraham Lincoln.
Absolutely right, and that was the last question of round 1. And look what we have, a tied game, 70-70. Great job. We'll look and make sure we don't have any challenges. We do have a challenge. over on this side. So we'll take just a moment for the coach from Gravette to make her challenge.
Well, Bill, another exciting game, and we've got a tie
Yeah,
and a
we've
challenge.
got a tie, and it's the first quarter, and to be honest with you, I missed it. I didn't think of anything that could be challenged, but that's the difference of being somebody standing over here and being a coach that's paying really close attention to what's going on. Both of these teams are very, very well coached, and that's interesting because if you remember, Gravette, this is their first time to be here, so they ought to be a little nervous. I don't see any nerves. I see them functioning very, very well. So, you know, when the challenge comes up, let's see what happens. And I'm curious. I want to know what the challenge is going to be.
Okay, all right. What do you say to kids who are out there watching this and who are thinking they could never do this? How do they get to here?
Well, we just saw a piece on how the parents can play a big part. And I think that's probably one of the biggest parts. But the other thing is to visit with your teachers. You know, go find who's the coach. Go and talk to those teachers and find out, can I play? And then recruit your parents to get involved. It's a big, big aid.
And I know we've heard about literature and history and math has been huge. What about those kids sitting out there thinking, well, I'm just not that smart. Can they get this? Can you learn this, Bill?
Yeah, yes. And that's another thing, too, that you need to consider. What you're looking for in a quiz bowler is a kid that's not only intelligent, but one that's willing to take a risk. Sometimes you get students who take tests, and they do very well on written tests. But when it gets to be a verbal, think on the feet, they kind of freeze up. You're looking for somebody that doesn't mind missing 3 or 4 questions, shrug that off, and take the next one. If you get one that they miss a question, they're sitting there stewing over that question, they're not a good quiz bowler. You've got to keep your head clear. You've got to stay focused. And you heard a student a minute ago say they look for key words. Right. That's what you got to do. You got to train yourself to do that. And this transfers to many other things you do in life. That's why Quiz Bowl is so good for these students.
Let's talk about the captains and their role in Quiz Bowl.
Captains are very, very important. And a lot of times, if you'll notice, it's not the captain that's answering all the questions. They'll answer several, but they're not the star player necessarily. Their function as a captain is to keep the team functioning. You know, make sure that if somebody's getting, once in a while you'll see this, and it's hard to see on television, but they'll just extend their hand to one side, telling a student in just emotion that, okay, it's all right. They might have missed a question. He's trying to get their concentration back, or she is. We've seen some very effective captains up here. Go back to the game that was before this. The captain realized they had to be aggressive. So she took the lead and went on. You see that. If you're a good coach, you look for that. You look for a leader, somebody that can transcend and get somebody else to do something too. It's pretty crucial position to be in.
So with everything that's going on with this challenge, what does the team need to focus on now to move forward?
Well, once again, you want the students that are participating right now to just stay clear. You don't want them to get involved in this at all. You don't want them to get emotional about it or anything else. This game is early. We're just ending the first quarter. We want them to stay focused for that bonus round that's going to come up. Leave this in the hands of the coach. And if there are 2 coaches, often you will see this. We've said this before. The second coach will go over there and just be having a conversation with the members that are playing, because you want to keep them calm and cool and collected so that when it comes back, when the challenge is made and the decision is made, they don't want to have to get involved in that at all. That's over. We're going to the next one.
Okay. Now, it takes a lot of resources and people, Bill, to make Quiz Bowl what it is. Speak to volunteers and how important that is.
Oh, it takes a lot. You know, I have gone to invitational tournaments, and whole communities will get involved. Grandparents, parents, businessmen. It's really amazing at how much your community will get involved in this. Seems like the smaller the community, the higher percentage will get involved. But it takes a lot of people to do this. And really, a lot of the coaches, they're giving up their weekends, they're giving up after school hours, they give up a lot of time for this.
All righty. Well, I think we're ready to go back to the match. Okay, Bill, usually it's kind of obvious when there's going to be a challenge, but I think I kind of missed this one.
Yeah, I did, and I'm kind of bewildered a little bit about why it's taken so long, but let's explain how this process works. First, the coach lodges the challenge, and then they have to produce written material that to the judges, and then the judges have to deliberate on that. Now, when the coach that brings the challenge, the other coach from the other team is invited up to the table where the judges are so that they can listen. What can happen sometimes, even though this process has to take place in 5 minutes, that's the maximum, but what may happen is the other coach may say, now wait a minute, I've got some material that verifies what I've got. And then you have a challenge that the judges have to consider both sets of materials. And even though I'm not sure what this challenge is, that's probably what's happening right here.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to find out.
Well, for those who are watching at home, we did have a lengthy challenge. It was on question number 6 in the round. I'm sure some of you at home were thinking the same thing. What food did God send the Israelites in such great abundance that they ate themselves sick? And the answer we had was quail. And the coach withdrew the challenge. We couldn't find quite the supporting materials we needed there. So the challenge withdrawn. And so at the end of the first round, this is our score. Subiaco 70, Gravette 70. And I believe Gravette's going to make a substitution at this time. So we'll take another break as we sub. All right, welcome back. We have made a substitution for Gravette. Lacey is in the game for Gravette. Good to have you up here. Kind of make this whole game look a little better with the girl up here. Nice. All right, we're going to begin our second round of competition of this tied game. This is the toss-up with a chance for the teams to get bonus questions. And they get 4-part bonus questions that allow them to make even more points for their team. So let's try to do that, teams, with this first toss-up question. Here it is. The Lend-Lease Act of 1941 allowed the President of the United States to lend any defensive article to nations fighting Germany during World War II. What nation, Brian?
Britain.
Yes. What nation received the bulk of the aid? And it was Great Britain. Good. All right, here is your bonus question, and it's one of those 20-second bonus questions where you have to get all of them, or at least begun during the 20 seconds, Carson. And it's called Science Resistors, and it does involve some computation probably. But here it is. You have 3 6-ohm resistors. What are the 4 different resistances you can get by connecting them in different configurations, assuming that each configuration uses all 3 resistors? Does that make sense? Here we go.
Uh, 18,
Yes.
24,
No.
9,
Yes.
1.
No. All right, very good. And all within the time limit. Good job. 18 and 9 were correct. There was also 2 and 4 were the other 2. But 20 points for your team in that. You got the toss-up and then the 2 5 points. Very good. Nicely done. All right, here's another toss-up for both teams. Hands on our buzzers. Consider a U.S. representative who was elected the year he became eligible for office. He has served continuously since then and is now 37 years old. All right, Jacob.
2 years?
No. How many times has he been elected? Answer, please. Brian.
1 time.
6, actually. 6 times. All right, here's another toss-up for both teams. The chief marketplace in ancient Greek city-states was called, Jacob?
Acropolis.
No, the Agora. What main public meeting and marketplace in an ancient Roman town was called what? It was called a forum, a forum. All right, here's another toss-up for both teams. Glaucus fell in love with this nymph who rejected him, and later Circe poisoned the water in which she bathed, thus turning her body into a combination of fish joined with 6 dogs' heads. Name this nymph who then fled to the shore of the Straits of Messina to live alone. Matt?
Scylla.
Yes.
Good job, man. Good job.
All right, and you have earned your team a bonus in obstetrics. All right? Identify these conditions, terminology, and factors affecting pregnancy. And Jameson, I'll get all my answers from you. Here's the first one. Which of the following do most pregnant women need to significantly increase in their normal diets? Fats, carbohydrates, or proteins?
Proteins.
Yes. During which trimester of pregnancy will most women first detect fetal movement?
Second.
Yes. Give the RH factor combination of father and mother that can result in complications if the baby's RH factor matches the father's. Answer
O
that.
negative and O negative.
No. What is the term for a delivery in which the baby's feet come out first?
Backwards.
Come out kicking.
No, that's called a breech birth. And the question number 3, the RH factor, that is, I could have accepted father positive, mother negative on that. But you got 2 out of the 4. Very good job for 20 points for your team, and another tied game here as we go to the next toss-up. Still have 2 bonuses left to get out there. Let's try to get it with this toss-up question. A man in a top hat, possibly a self-portrait of the artist, represents, Carson?
Van Gogh.
No, represents the bourgeoisie. What is this painting commemorating the July Revolution that features a goddess figure holding the tricolor and is a work of Eugene Delacroix? Eli?
Victory leading the people?
No, it is liberty leading the people. All right, no harm done there, but here's a math computation that might get us the next bonus. Everyone ready? 20 seconds to answer this question. At the rate of 14 miles in 10 minutes, how far will a car go in an hour? And Gravette, Brian.
84 miles.
Brian, you have earned your team the 3rd bonus. And it happens to be called the quotable Martin Luther King. Answer these questions based on the words of Dr. King. Dr. King said, "It's what we must let ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city."
Freedom.
Yes. Dr. King preached that what is the greatest form of government ever conceived, but we have never touched it?
Democracy.
Yes. Question 3. Give me the one word for the peaceful practice which Dr. King described as not a sterile passivity, but a powerful moral force.
Nonviolence.
Right? And question number 4. In jail, King wrote, "We will reach freedom in blank because the goal of America is freedom."
Unity.
Unity.
No, that one's from a letter from Birmingham jail. So the answer is Birmingham. But 3 out of the 4 correct for a total of 25 points. Very good. Now, there is one bonus left, and let's see which team can get it with this toss-up. A star that is about to rise above a plane has an altitude of 0 degrees. What is the altitude of a star that is directly overhead? Jacob?
90 degrees.
You're right. And you've earned the 4th and final bonus today, and it happens to be in poetry. Answer these questions about poetry. Jameson, I'll get all my answers from you. In words as fashions, the same rule will hold. Alike fantastic if too new or old. Be not the first by whom the new are tried, nor let the last to lay the old blank. Finish this verse by Alexander Pope.
Who have died.
No. Loud were they low, loud as o'er the land they rode. Fierce of heart were they as o'er the hills they rode. For the mighty maidens have mustered up their strength. This Northern European poem referred to what?
Charge of the Men of Steel.
No. George Gordon, Lord Byron, created a famous pilgrimage in poetic verse. Name the pilgrim of Byron's poem. Answer, please.
Himself.
No. Who wrote this stanza? Up from the meadows rich with corn, clear in the cool of September morn, the clustered spires of Frederick stand, green-walled by the hills of Maryland.
Poe.
No, that was John Greenleaf Whittier. The first one, you had a good answer for it, but it was aside, lay the old aside. And the second one, the Northern European poem referred to the Valkyries. And the third one, Lord Byron wrote about Childe Harold. But you got 10 points out of the deal, and still a very close game. At the end of the second round, Gravette leads 115 to Subiaco's very close 100. And that, of course, means, Subiaco, that you get to pick first from our lightning round categories. And let me read those to you if there are no challenges from the last round. And I don't see any. Good. All right, here are your categories, Subiaco. Earth. Answer these science questions concerning the Earth, past and present. Centuries. Name the centuries in which these events in history occurred. And finally, Army. Answer these questions about one of our armed forces. You have 60 seconds, coaches.
Well, Bill, for it to be Gravette's first time here, they are doing very well today.
They are doing very well. And before the matches started today, I visited with one of the coaches from Gravette, and she was telling me that in their schedule, they have a 50-minute class that they call Quiz Bowl.
Oh.
And so those students who come to that class, they prepare themselves for Quiz Bowl. They study during that time by expanding on the knowledge that they're gaining in the classroom. And you can see that it's paying off. They're very, very knowledgeable. This is done by several schools. In addition to that, the coach also informed me that they stay after school.
Oh, okay.
And now they don't do that every day, but 1 or 2 days a week they stay after school. Of course, they also participate in tournaments, invitational tournaments during the course of the year. So what you have is a team that, okay, it's the first time they've gotten here, but they're not prepared.
Okay.
They're prepared for this, and you can tell that. This game is going to be another one like the one before. We've got two teams that are equally balanced, very well coached, and you're going to see a very close game right to the end.
And you know, we had that long challenge, but it seems like they're doing great in spite of that time when they were wondering what was going to happen.
Yes, and sometimes, you know, if you have a long challenge, even though you're trying to keep your team members cool and calm, they'll kind of let down. And that happens, and then it takes a little while for the adrenaline to get back up and for you to get it back into the game. It didn't appear to happen here. They came back very strong, started answering questions very quickly, and it's going to be a good one. This is going to be a great one.
And so what's going to be the key to the win going forward?
Well, we've got a situation now where the students are going to have to just keep their concentration up, listen to every question individually.
Okay, all right, I think we're ready to go back to the match.
All right, welcome back to our 4A state championship between Subiaco and Gravette. A very close game, very exciting game. And this is our 60-second round where the teams get to pick a category and see if they can answer up to 10 questions. And our teams have made their choices based on the categories we provided them. And Subiaco chose first, they chose Earth. And then Gravette has chosen Centuries. All right, so we're going to start with Subiaco. And Carson, you be ready if they have any bounce backs to give you. Jameson, make sure you look at me and speak clearly when you give an answer, all right? 60 seconds on the clock. Answer these science questions concerning Earth, past and present. Part of Earth that's primary source of its magnetic field.
Ionosphere.
No. Decaying matter that forms organic soil particles is called what?
Silica.
No. Reworking of land damaged or won from the sea is called what?
Reclaiming.
Yes. A large area of land with little rainfall or vegetation.
Desert.
Yes. Hurricane is one example of this type of region of low air pressure.
Storm.
No. During geological era when first land plants appeared on Earth.
Cambrian.
No. What is the study of fossils called?
Paleontology.
Yes. What's the most common type of rock found on the Earth's surface?
Sandstone.
No. Scientists believe Earth has only this one continent 200 million years ago.
Pangea.
Yes. Number of degrees the Earth's axis is tilted in respect to the sun.
23.
Degrees.
No. All right, we got through all 10. Good job. Judges, I have that they got numbers 3, 4, 7, and 9. So we're going to pass the others on to Carson and the Gravette team. Carson, how about the part of Earth that's primary source of its magnetic field?
The core.
The core, yes. Decaying matter that forms organic soil particles is called what?
Dead stuff.
Pass.
Okay. Hurricane is one example of this type of region of low air pressure.
Front.
No. During a geological era when first land plants appeared on Earth.
Paleozoic.
Yes. What's the most common type of rock found on the Earth's surface?
Limestone.
No. And number of degrees the Earth's axis is tilted in respect to the sun.
23.5 degrees.
That's correct. Or 23 and a half. All right, now the ones that neither team got was the decaying matter that forms organic soil particles. That's humus. And then we had the hurricane as one example of this type of region of low air pressure is cyclone. And the most common type of rock found on the Earth's surface is sedimentary. We were getting too specific with our answers on that one. All right, good job. Now we're going to give Gravette a chance to do their category, and Jameson, you be ready for any bounce backs they may give you. We'll put 60 seconds on the clock, Carson, for these questions about centuries. Name the century in which these events in history occurred. Make sure you speak directly to me when you give the answers. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Becket, was murdered.
17th.
No, Jeanne d'Arc, heroine of Orleans, was burned as a witch.
16th.
No, Richelieu became chief minister of France.
16th.
No, Rome burned and Nero blamed the Christians.
First.
Yes, explorer Ponce de Leon came to America.
16th.
Yes, Napoleon defeated at Waterloo.
18th.
No, England's parliament convicts King Charles I of treason and executes him.
18th.
No, Isabella of Castile marries Ferdinand of Aragon.
16th.
No, William I becomes King of England by right of arms.
Stall.
Going to stall on that one. All right. Gravette chose to stall on that. I think it was number 9, so we don't go on to number 9 or 10. I have judges that they got 4 and 5. All right, that's a tough category to try to remember these centuries. Jameson, you have a chance here to do some catching up if you can get these right. Name the centuries in which each of these events in history occurred. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Becket, was murdered.
6th.
No. Jeanne d'Arc, heroine of Orleans, was burned as a witch.
15th.
Yes. Richelieu becomes chief minister of France.
What did this say? 17th. 18th.
No. Napoleon defeated at Waterloo.
19th.
Yes. England's parliament convicted King Charles I of treason and executes him.
17th.
Yes. Isabel of Castile marries Ferdinand of Aragon.
16th.
That would be the 15th for that one. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Becket, was murdered in the 12th century. Richelieu became chief minister of France in the 17th century. And the one that you stalled on, William I, becomes King of England by right of arms, was the 11th century. All right, 2 tough categories for our teams here today, and it means still a close game. Here at the end of 3 rounds, we have Gravette 165, Subiaco 170. So just a slight lead here by Subiaco going into our last round. Congratulations, teams. All right, we'll make sure we have no challenges. None from either side? All right. 5-point game. This is the way a state championship should be, isn't it? Are we going to make any substitutions at this time? None from this side? None from this side. All right. We'll go straight into our 4th round then. And here we go. These are toss-ups only. 200 points up for grabs. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. In a 1927 Broadway musical by Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein, it was based on Edna Ferber's book, What Was the Cotton Blossom? Carson.
The town the play was set in?
No. Jameson.
A Southern Belle.
Well, she might have stood on it. It was the showboat or the riverboat it's in fact the title of the musical was Showboat, wasn't it? Number 32. Right truncated primes are prime numbers that remain prime after you remove the rightmost digit, such as 37. Name the first right truncated prime after the number 50. Jacob.
53.
Right. Question 33. In political jargon, what term describes an office holder who has not been reelected or who chooses not to run for office again and is no longer subject? Brian.
Lame duck.
Right. Question number 34. What part of a house is die Tür in German? Carson.
Kitchen?
No. Jacob.
The bathroom.
No, it's the door. Door. All right, question number 35. In 1529, the forces of what empire laid siege to Vienna and were forced to retreat? Carson.
Prussian.
No. Jacob.
Ottoman.
Yes. Question number 36. This is the term used for maintaining the flow of a film by keeping details consistent throughout a scene. All right, Subiaco, Jacob.
Continuity.
Jacob, you're right again. Question number 37 happens to be math computation. So we'll put 20 seconds on the clock, and here we go. What is the value of cosine 2 pi over 3? All right, Brian.
Negative square root 3 over 2.
No. Jameson.
Root 3 over 2.
No, it's negative 1/2. All right, question 38. What biblical expression based on a physical handicap refers to those who give advice to others without being qualified to do so? Gravette, Carson.
Hypocrite.
No. Jacob.
Underqualified.
No, it's an expression. It's the blind leading the blind. All right, question 39. It occupies 16,000 acres on the west bank of the Hudson River, about 50 miles north of New York City. Benedict Arnold's plan to betray Brian.
Fort Ticonderoga.
No. To betray this key military post was frustrated by the capture of Major John Andre. Among its graduates were Robert E. Lee. Jameson.
West Point.
Yes. Timeout has been called by our Gravette coach, and that means a 30-second timeout. We won't give her that much time to meet with her team, and the Subiaco coach can meet with his team as well. Welcome back after the timeout. Very close game. Subiaco 210, Gravette 175. And we have 11 questions remaining in the game. So still a very good, very close game. Let's see if we can get this answer right, teams. Here we go. Jim Rice was so strong, he once broke a bat without hitting the ball on one of these actions. What do we call a swing? Brian?
Bunt.
No, that the batter tries to stop. Jameson?
A stutter.
No, it's a checked swing, All right, question 41. In 1792, at Hamilton's encouragement, a bimetallic standard was adopted by the United States. Carson?
Gold and silver.
Carson, you're right. Question number 42. In the 1590s, this circumnavigator and his kinsman, the sea dog, Carson?
Magellan.
No, the sea dog Sir John Hawkins perished on the same voyage. Name him. Jameson?
Balboa.
No, he captained the Golden Hind. It was Sir Francis Drake. All right, question number 43 for both teams. Name the Hemingway story whose... Carson?
For whom the bell tolled?
No, whose preface contains this passage. Close to the western summit, there is the dried and frozen carcass of a leopard. Jacob?
The sun also rises.
No, it is the snows of Kilimanjaro. All right, question number 44 is math computation. So get your pencils in hand. We're going to put 20 seconds on the clock, and here we go. 4 cubed plus what power of 2 equals 80? All right, Subiaco, Jameson?
4.
Yes. All right, question number 45. What kind of telescope searches for signals from extraterrestrials? Carson?
Electromagnetic telescope.
No. Jacob?
X-ray.
No, it's a radio telescope. Question 46. Angiosperm is the name of one of the 2 large... Brian?
Gymnosperm.
You're right. Question number 47. Name the Thomas Wolfe novel whose title suggests chronology and a waterway. Lacey?
Looking Homeward.
No, this is the sequel to Look Homeward, Angel. Jameson?
Electric Kool-Aid test.
No, I didn't even know Look Homeward, Angel had a sequel. It's called Of Time and the River. Question 48. What is transferred in 3 ways? By conduction? Brian?
Heat.
Heat is right. Question 49. By analyzing the equation of a straight line, which is y equals 3x minus 4, what would the gradient be? Brian?
3.
3 is correct. A timeout called by Subiaco. Each coach is allowed a timeout, so we'll take 30 seconds. Welcome back to our very exciting 4A state championship with a 5-point difference in our game and 1 10-point question remaining. So here we go with this last question of the game. Are you ready? Here we go. What 6-letter word can refer to the enclosure over a plane's cockpit or the... Brian?
Fuselage.
No. Or the layer of the tallest treetops in a forest? Jameson?
Canopy.
Canopy is correct. Wow. Great job. Both teams very worthy of the honors you're about to receive. With a score of 230 to 215, Subiaco Academy is our new 4A state champion. Congratulations.
Okay, Bill, that was a nail biter.
Yeah, I didn't think they could get any better than the one before this one, but I take that back. And let me tell you about the strategy. When Subiaco called timeout on that last question, he did not want his team members to jump in too quick. They had the lead. If there was going to be a team that wanted to be aggressive in this, it needed to be Gravette, and Gravette was. They did what they were supposed to do. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, but I'm telling you, these are very good teams and very well coached, both sides.
Okay, now I noticed that, right before, probably about 4 or 5 questions back, it was Gravette that called a timeout, and looks like they were, I don't know, trying to energize the team. What was going on there?
And it worked. If you notice, they became a little more aggressive. They knew they were behind, and behind enough that you're going to have to take some risks to catch up. It paid off. They caught up. They got it down to the last question. Had the coach not called a timeout, there's a very good chance that for a couple of questions, they would have been trying to gather their thoughts and do. They took the time in that timeout to say, look, gather it up, let's get after it.
Okay, all righty then. Well, I think we're ready to go back. Okay, they're telling us that they're not quite ready, but they are getting ready for the check presentation. So let's talk more about strategy and being calm and timing.
Well, we saw some good strategy in this one right here. And in the 62nd round, Gravette, when they didn't stall earlier, it might have made the difference in the game because they were missing some of those on those centuries. Had they stalled earlier, they might not have given Subiaco enough time. So there's some strategy that might have worked in Subiaco's favor. The other thing is that your coaches, they're a very integral part, and the 2 timeouts we saw in this 4th quarter were absolutely played perfectly.
All right, well, let's go back to the set for the awarding of the trophy and the check.
In one of the most exciting championship games I have got to witness. 5 points separated you going into the last question, and Subiaco came on top. Congratulations to both of these teams. Let's give them a round. Both of you deserve to be champions. We're going to present some trophies right now.
Congratulations to our 4A state runner-up, Gravette.
And for academic excellence, we have a check for $1,600 for Gravette. Good job.
And our 4A state champ, Subiaco. Congratulations.
And for academic excellence, a check for $3,200. Congratulations.
And our 4A MVP is Brian Smithers from Gravette. Congratulations.
And now for the 4A All-Tournament team members, Carolyn Schry.
All right, this has really been an exciting game, and Brian managed to keep his MVP status, although Jacob Maestri from Subiaco was kind of challenging him on and off all the way through, but he didn't quite get to at the points that Brian had. We also have a high point player from the 4A tournament team, Joe Robbins from Boonville. That was from one of the teams that did not make it quite this far. These are the other all-tournament players: Jonathan Lance from Nashville, Andrew Powell from Heber Springs, Victor Redco from Valley View, Velimir Petrovic from Maumelle, Christian Luce from Stuttgart, Roger Marlowe from Dover, Bo Ballou from Farmington, Seth Daniel from Arkadelphia, Noah McMillian, also from Arkadelphia, Jack Tyler from Arkansas Baptist, Nick Janowski from Bauxite, Ben Ford from Hamburg, Nathan King from Pocahontas, Jeffrey Tonti from Arkansas Baptist, Graydon Carter from Pocahontas, Sean Healy from Maumelle, Tyler Maxwell from Hamburg, Lewis Rockefeller from Arkansas Baptist, and Jameson Hall from Subiaco. Got in there after all, didn't you? Congratulations to all of you people.